since the piece is kind of new for you, the Mertz Opus 11, Introduction and Rondeau, maybe just tell me about the piece and what are your impressions? What are your first impressions learning the piece, and how do you feel about it?
Uh, I feel I feel this piece is like not quite very well known. Uh, it's rarely to find someone interpret like properly,
Yes.
like you. I saw you many times, so that's why I want to play this piece because of I got inspiration from you.
Oh,
So I like this piece because it's like have kind of dramatic, some really cool, some singing, and it's quite fit on me. So
yeah.
that's why I choose
Yes.
this piece. Yeah,
Yeah. It has a lot of things, right? Because
yeah,
the introduction is very kind of operatic.
hmm
Um, Mertz was he was such a expert in opera. He wrote, most of his pieces, a lot of his pieces are based on opera. So he was like an expert. It's sort of like if these days, let's say you were a person that knows every song by the Beatles, you know. Mertz probably was the guy that probably knew all the big arias going on in his time. So that's kind of an interesting thing. A lot of his music is opera based.
okay.
Um, when I was a student, not a lot of Mertz was played, And I first heard this piece when in a performance class,
Mm.
and people would just trash it. People would say, "Oh, it's so," but at that time, Mertz was kind of not played as much.
Okay.
People would play Giuliani, Sor, Ragondi, but Mertz has kind of found his place now,
Ah,
and it's really nice because he's such a great guitar composer.
yeah.
Everything from him when you play his music, everything sort of sounds great on the guitar.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's on the modern guitar or the 19th century guitar, it just sounds so great. So I'm glad you're getting into it. I'm glad the piece feels like it's written for you. That's
Yeah.
kind of a big thing. When
Yeah.
you find a piece that's written, kind of you feel like, oh, it's written for me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's really nice.
Uh,
And it's even better if it speaks to you and not to a lot of other people, so that you
yeah.
feel kind of like, oh wow, this is so
Yeah.
written for me.
And I can feel like I will do it well if I
Yeah,
practice enough. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's a great piece. It's a great piece.
Yeah.
It's a very it's kind of an early piece. He wrote it pretty
Mm.
early in his so, and it's really well developed. I think it's a really nice piece. So let's
Yeah.
let's let's do it. Since um, since it's a new piece, instead of playing it the whole way through, why don't we just start with the first part, the
Yeah.
introduction?
Introduction. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yes.
has
Yes.
several parts there. So let's
Yes.
let's just start with the introduction.
Sure. I have a score here, but I cannot show in like.
No, don't worry about it because
Yeah.
I have the score here. I have the
Okay.
score. So plus I kind of know the score pretty well
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
from
That's why.
my memory.
Okay. Sure. Do you hear it well?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I do.
This is like new, so new.
Yeah,
I
yeah, but it's new and it's nice. It's in very good shape. The fact that it's new, it only gives us a chance to sort of to talk about some of the things that could be. I think it's in very good shape the way it is.
okay.
But you know there are when we speak about Mertz and we speak about romantic music in general, one of the things that we talk about is, or we could think about, is the poetry of the of of, of music. You know, because during the 19th century, especially music like this, German music during this time, there's so much poetry in there,
Mhm.
and a poem will have its own little, you know, it won't explore the same expressive elements or the same emotional elements for very long. It will sort of have a little section here that explores this emotional element, and then it will change. And I think what's very important here, even in this introduction, of course, the the rondo is very, very different. It's in this kind of zingara, you know, gypsy style.
Yeah.
But the introduction has also its little parts, little
Why
emotional
why
sections.
is gypsy style? Because I don't know about the real origin of the myth. Yeah, why he composed like everything is like related to gypsy
You
music
know,
or
because a lot of composers were relating their music at this time to Liszt,
uh-huh.
and Liszt was a nationalist composer in part. Of course, he was much more than that, but one of his styles was the nationalist style, and you know, the nationalist style was the way that the composer was trying to uh, sort of create identity in his music through the nation that he was trying to identify with. So, for example, Chopin was po- Polish music, right? He wrote a lot of mazurkas, a lot of polonaises, and um, Liszt was Hungarian, and he was sort of fighting for Hungarian independence at that time. He was one of the big leaders of the Hungarian movement, and through his music. So he tried to emulate the Hungarian style in his music. And one of the things that he was trying to emulate is gypsy music, because
Ah,
he associated in his mind gypsy music with Hungarian music. Some people say that he shouldn't have done that because Hungarian music is different, gypsy music is different. But anyway, it is what it is. And and Mertz, who was from Bratislava and also from this area, this general area, was also trying to emulate the style of Liszt. So the same way that a polonaise or mazurka was very popular during the 19th century, the 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 sort of gypsy Hungarian style was very popular through the music of Liszt. And Merz was one of the people that
I get
was
it.
you know, emulating that. The most famous example is the Hungarian fantasy, right?
Ah, yes.
That's a gypsy style. So this is also a gypsy style. In later in the rondo, um, you hear it in the rhythms. So pam pam dun 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 dun
Ah,
dun dun
yes.
dun dun dun
Yes.
dun 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 dun
Ah,
dun 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 dun. You know, those unusual accents,
yes.
unusual accents on also the where the music stops. You know, is very fast, and then there are moments where it's very slow. That's also very gypsy style.
Yeah.
So you have kind of very lyrical, very intense lyrical sections, contrasted with very fast and virtuosic things. But that's sort of in the rondo. Um, Here in the introduction,
Yeah.
what you played is he's very much in the style of opera. This is
Yeah.
not Hungarian gypsy
Yeah.
style. This is not really nationalist music yet.
Yeah.
So a lot of things will have to, well, a lot of the things that you will be thinking about will have to do with opera. Um, what I what I think is really nice about the beginning is that he goes from a very low
Yeah.
point of the guitar, so the range is very big. It goes from the lowest notes
Yes.
and goes to the highest notes.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So he's got the low F sharp, low E, and then he goes up to the high E, which is sort of like a at that time that was a very high. There are more high notes obviously on the guitar, but so that is something that you have to explore, you know, as a guitarist. Let me see if I can sort of show you. I'm not gonna maybe show you the guitar, but
Yeah.
just explore with you a little bit how it should start, or how it
Yeah.
could start, not it should.
Yeah.
So the first thing is maestoso.
Yeah.
Maestoso is not a slow tempo.
Yeah.
It's very much
Wow. Uh-huh.
you see you,
Yeah.
you see what I mean, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is, when I'm thinking about this introduction, I'm thinking how to orchestrate,
Yeah.
how to really orchestrate this, because this beginning down here, to me, that it's a cello line
Yeah.
in an orchestra. It's so cello. I can even almost imagine my finger, on the fingerboard, sort of like like playing a cello,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
Um, Part of playing a cello is this sort of, you're not playing with just your fingers. You're playing with your arms, and you're playing with the weight of your arms and the weight of your body. So I would think about this in a way where a little bit more sort of maestoso. So don't just use your fingers. Don't think of just your fingers, but think of the weight of your arm, and especially the weight of your of your elbow.
Okay.
So push into the note a little bit. Don't just play with dum dum bum 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 bum. Just with the finger, but just the whole arm. So. And that last note should be the loudest.
Okay. But
Okay.
not buzzing.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So just start it off very gently, but and like a poem, like if you're reciting a poem, going back to the idea of the poetry, if you're saying something like, in the winter of my life, something kind of like where you're hearing the words
Mm-hmm.
of this melody a little bit. Okay,
Uh-huh.
try it. Try it.
Sure.
Yes, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Much better. I would say don't rush the first note so much. Like don't rush it too much, right? Try it. Yeah, yeah, that's much better.
Uh-huh.
That's much better. And then these notes, pum 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 pum. those are notes that I think if I'm orchestrating it, if you gave me this piece to orchestrate as an exercise, I would probably use like maybe flute, oboe, clarinet, bum 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 bum, and they have to be very. So every repetition of the note is less. Bum 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 bum. Almost like an echo of the first note. So bum bum bum. Right, but don't accent the first note. So it's not. No accent on the first note.
Gotcha.
You still accent. Ah, yes, beautiful. You hear it?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the idea here. That's the orchestral idea that he's working in, right? And then the second part here, same idea. Now comes the first accent. So the accent really is on the F there, right? Bom bom bom. Very dramatic, right? That part. Play it from the beginning, and then we'll see how that works. That first line.
Sure.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's work on that. The first part was very good. The first part was really much better. Um, when you play this on this is the second line. You see that accent on the A?
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be a little bit more. You know, the second A of the melody has to be a little bit more. Now, the way he has it organized here, it's really in three lines, three different lines. You have the bass line, then you have this soprano line, now when you come to this, that's the middle line. It's like an alto line, and that has to have a different color than the bass line, and a different color than the soprano line. So you have to treat that melody that comes in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth measure. You have to treat that melody and then you can have a little bit of. I know it doesn't say. Rubato there, but the music asks for the rubato, you know.
Yeah.
So that whole section where it's marked forte, where you go to. all rubato, and very much like the center of that whole thing, you know. So yeah, there's a lot to remember there. So maybe why don't you just go from the beginning again, and
Yeah.
when you come to this middle line, different color,
Okay.
and then when you come to this, you can pause there.
Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, sure.
And now we
Like
are we are in
it's
a
like
different, you know.
it's
Yeah.
like a big phrasing.
Yeah,
Okay, I get it.
it's
Okay.
it's really it really is, and it's really beautiful. It's the design is really nice. I really love the design of that first part. Okay, try it.
Open your mic, your microphone. Open your microphone. Ah, ah, 10. Yeah.
Romantic music, that was beautiful. Romantic music, when you add that element of I don't know, that element of freedom a little bit, not complete freedom, because you don't want to just do whatever you want. You have to stick with the plan of the composer. But when you add your own sort of freedom in there, it becomes so much more beautiful, you know. And so remember that romantic music, historically, it's very much connected with people's, you know, the inner emotions of people, you know, the inner emotions, and specifically emotions of kind of freedom and you know, the ability to speak what you're feeling, self-expression, let's call
Yeah.
it. And this piece is really about, the introduction is about that. So the first part was really good. Now let's go to the second section now, the cantabile moderato. Okay, so we have to choose a slightly different tempo for this. I think the first part, maestoso, is still sort of cantabile, but this will be more. This would be more like an aria, you know. Sorry for my awful voice, but yeah, and you can actually practice this. This is like straight out of some kind of Donizetti or Bellini, you know. That's the melody, and the accompaniment. You hear that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've gotta be able to if you listen to a lot of opera recordings of especially M- Maria Callas, she was so great at singing Bellini, Donizetti, all this beautiful. So I can almost hear her voice, and the just a very gentle um, accompaniment. You have to separate those two things.
Sure.
You can't think of them as together. Somehow you have to be able to, and you're playing it with the same hands,
Yeah.
but it's almost like you have to be two different people there.
Yeah.
Two different people. One mentality on one side, the mentality is beautiful melody, and on the other side, the mentality is very gentle and simple accompaniment.
Mhm.
You have to be two people at the same time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yes. Yes.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
And that evening.
Yes, it's good. It's good, but um, it sounded like you changed. Well, I mean, it's okay because we're sort of working on it, right?
Yeah.
But it sounded like you changed your idea in the middle of the piece. It's
Yeah.
like the idea was to have you had one idea at the beginning,
Yeah.
and you sort of changed your mind in the middle of that little section, and it became like almost like a different piece.
Yeah.
You have to have kind of a very just one idea for it. So
Uh-huh.
um, what I mean is, you see what I mean? From the beginning, I had this idea of cantabile, but also moderato,
Mhm.
which is not
Mhm.
slow.
Yeah.
That's the first phrase. Second phrase. Now third phrase. Basically, four ideas, four phrases,
Yeah.
right? Um, but I think when you were playing it, maybe you started a little bit too slow. Maybe,
Uh-huh.
maybe. Try to get the moderato idea, which is moderato is not slow.
It's like okay.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I really like that.
Yeah.
That was good. One of the things that you have to respect in Mertz's music are the accents.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If you accent the music, if you accent where he wants you to accent, I think that it's an enormous help in
Okay.
understanding the phrasing
Okay.
because it's not always so obvious. He's not
Okay.
always accenting the strong beats. not
Yes.
always. Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. So when he wants you to accent the offbeat, he will tell you in the music.
Okay.
Score reading is very very big in Mertz. You know, this composer. When you play Regondi or you play even Sor or people like that, you don't see a lot of markings,
Yeah.
but Mertz uses a lot of markings. So it's so important to follow them to
Yeah.
get the right sort of style, you know,
Yeah.
right style. So that was, let's say, the second section. Let's see
Mm-hmm.
if you can, let's see if we can finish up with the third section, which is also very different.
Mm-hmm.
The first section is maestoso. The second section is lyrical. Then this one is, to me at least, extremely mysterious,
Mm-hmm.
and because you have that melody sort of alternating between the bass and the top, the bass and the
Ah,
top,
yeah.
the bass and the top. So it's quite mysterious until you reach that explosion, which is that chord, right? Um, and then the flowing sort of pattern down to
Yeah.
the dominant chord. But let's
Yeah.
let's hear that last section, okay?
Pulento.
Yeah, let's do and pulento, of course, means a little bit slower.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Very misterioso. I know he doesn't say misterioso, but
Yeah.
it's piano, pianissimo, marcato, piulento, and it really has that quality of kind of mysterious. I like the tempo. I
Yeah.
think the tempo is pretty good. I like the double forte, the sort of the climactic
Yeah.
moment, really, of the whole introduction is there,
Yeah.
right at
Yeah.
the end of that page.
Yes.
Um, the thing that maybe I would express a little bit more is the conversational idea here, because you
Mm-hmm.
have right and more and more and more. So gradually, these notes the accompaniment here has to be very gentle. I don't know. You're playing it? Just technically, when you're playing that music, it should really not be. You should not be pushing too much of those. You should just gently, almost like
Jumping.
you know. On the strings, the strings should not be pulled at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So just gently, almost like a brush with a brush, so that it doesn't interfere. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get in the way of this conversation between the bass and the melody.
Yeah.
Try it. Try that part again. Yes. Let me stop you there. That's very good. Um, I would say you have to be a little bit more convincing about the what is the what those lines are saying. So, maybe something. I think it's sort of like it's it's very kind of love oriented. I love you, I love you too. It's something like sort of very operatic, but about love. For sure. I mean, if you're or it's two people that like kind of miss each other, or it's like a moment in the opera where you feel like they're it comes like they're for the first time together in a long time, and they're expressing themselves, so almost like the soprano part is finishing the phrase of the tenor part.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Try
okay,
it.
sure. It's like
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Try that one part. Yeah. When you play that chord, the last chord of the page, make sure you hit the bass. Yeah. Yeah. We need to hear the bass
Okay, sure.
there. Okay. Um, uh, let's take a little break now.